So good evening everyone, my name is Anjo Embales and I will tackle about the graph, nominal and real interest rates. So let's start this slide 1, slide 2. This presentation is designed to explain the difference between nominal and real interest rates, how they are calculated, and why they matter. Understanding these terms helps investors and businesses leaders make smarter financial choices based on current state of the economy. With this knowledge, they can better handle the challenges of the financial market and improve their investment planning. Next is slide 3. Understanding interest rates, nominal versus real. This section focuses on the key differences between nominal and real interest rates, explaining how each one affects the actual value of investment, earnings, and the true cost of borrowing. By learning the distinction, individuals and businesses can better evaluate financial decisions and plan more effectively for the future. So the next is the understanding the differences between the nominal and the real interest rates. First is nominal interest rate. The nominal interest rate is the rate you usually see advertised on loans or investments. It shows how much interest is paid or earned, but it does not take inflation into account. This means it this means it does not how that is the, it doesn't show how your money's value changes over time. It's always a positive number and is commonly used in financial agreement or contracts. Then the next is real interest rate. The real interest rate gives a clearer pictures of the actual cost of borrowing or the real return on an investment because it factors in inflation. When inflation is high, the real interest rate might even turn negative, meaning your money is losing value. It helps show the true worth of your money after considering raising prices. So next is slide 5. Understanding the influence of the interest rates on investments. So first is impact of interest rates. Interest rates play a major role in shaping how people and businesses make investment choices. When interest rates are high, borrowing becomes more expensive, which can reduce spending and slow down economic growth. So next is comparing nominal and real interest rates. Investors need to look at both nominal and real interest rates to understand the actual value of their returns. These rates influence how much purchasing power their earnings will have in the future, which is essential for building a smart investment plan. So next is effect on borrowing and spending. Effect of borrowing and spending. Lower nominal interest rates usually encourage more borrowing and investment because the cost of loans is cheaper. However, if too much money flows into the economy, it can lead to inflation, which may reduce the real value of the investments. The next is forming an investment strategy. To make wise investment decisions, it's important to understand how nominal and real interest rates interact. This knowledge helps investors increase potentially profits while avoiding possible losses due to the inflation or changing economic conditions. So number 6, analyzing the relationship between economic indicators and interest rates. So first is economic growth force interest rate hikes. So when the economy is growing, people and businesses borrow more money to invest or spend. This increased demand for credit causes interest rates to rise. Second is unemployment rates affects interest rates. So if unemployment is higher, fewer people are working and spending. To help boost the economy, central banks often lower interest rates to make borrowing cheaper and encourage businesses to hire and invest. So third is consumer price indicates signal inflation trends. So consumer price index measures the changes and prices of goods and services. And these prices go up, inflation, it often leads to higher nominal interest rates as lenders want to protect their returns from losing value due to inflation. So fourth is central banks manipulate rates to drive growth. So central banks like the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas adjust interest rates to help control the economy in times of slow economic activity or crisis. They reduce rates to make borrowing easier and stimulate growth. And the last is monitoring indicators help businesses adapt strategies. By watching economic indicators like growth, inflation, and unemployment. Businesses can adjust their financial strategies early and make better decisions based on where interest rates might be needed. And slide 7. Understanding the role of central banks in managing nominal rates. First is central banks and nominal interest rates. Central banks play a big role in managing nominal interest rate to keep the economy stable. By raising or lowering these rates, they try to control inflation and support steady economic growth. Second is monetary policy tools. To influence interest rates, central banks use tools like open market operations like buying or selling government bonds and setting benchmark interest rates like such as the overnight lending rate. These tools help guide the flow of money in the economy. So third is role of the Federal Reserve. In the US, the Federal Reserve is the central bank that watches key economic indicators like inflation, employment, and GDP growth and adjusts interest rates based on what the economy needs. Other countries have similar institutions like Bangko Sentral Pilipinas in the Philippines. Fourth is impact of the businesses. When businesses understanding how and why central banks adjust interest rates, they can plan better. For example, if interest rates are expected to rise, companies might borrow now before it becomes more expensive. This awareness helps them make smarter financial investment decisions. So next is strategies investors navigating nominal and real interest rates. So first is diversity portfolios with tips. So diversity portfolios with tips. One smart strategy is to invest in treasury inflation protected securities. Tips. These are government bonds designed to keep up with inflation, helping protect your money's value and provide more stable return during times of rising prices. Then number two is understanding interest rates relationships. It's also crucial to understand the relationship between the nominal and real interest rates. Nominal rates show the stated interest, while real interest reflect the true return after inflation. Knowing how these two work together helps you measure the actual value of your investments. And then number three is stay informed on economic indicators. Keep an eye on major economic signals like inflation, GDP growth, and employment trends. These indicators help predict changes in interest rates, allowing you to adjust your investment strategy early and avoid unnecessary risk. Then, the last is navigating interest rate dynamics. So, to make smart financial decisions, it's important to understand how nominal and real interest rates work together. These two traits are influenced by inflation, which can rise or fall over time. As inflation changes, the real value of interest rates also shifts, impacting the cost of borrowing and the returns on investments. Because of this, businesses and investors must be flexible and ready to adjust their financial plans. By learning from this presentation, they gain valuable insight into how interest rates behave, helping them manage risk and spot opportunities. Then, in short, staying informed about interest rate trends allow decision makers to plan ahead, protect their money, and take advantage of economic changes rather than being caught off guard. The key is to use this knowledge to stay one step ahead in constantly changing financial environment. So that's all. Thank you.